acronym that I've come up with is S.O.S. And the acronym stands for first, safety. And so S stands for safety, and safety includes safety of the people, first and foremost, who are at the property and who are on your team. And secondly, safety stands for money. So the safety of the investment itself. And I'm going to go through what each of the letters stands for, and then I'll elaborate on each. Second, O stands for ongoing communication. Making sure that there's a constant line of communication, not unnecessary communication, but substantive communication and information. And then S, the last S, stands for summary. So summarizing after all said and done, where are we netting out, and what's the approach moving forward with what happened. So now, first S, safety for both the people and the money. In our case, we have 2 properties in Houston, and one of them is not in a flood zone. The other is. The one that is not in the flood zone didn't really get anything other than a rainstorm, and it's fine. The one that is in the flood zone, it did take in some water, but it wasn't significant, fortunately. And most importantly, from all accounts so far, everyone is safe. The residents, the team members there. And from an investment standpoint, we have flood insurance on the one in the flood zone. So if after we do a final assessment, once the weather cooperates, then we'll be able to determine if we are going to be making an insurance claim on that or not. And from a communication standpoint, ongoing communication standpoint, once we saw that there was some water that was being taken in, or actually, quite frankly, once we saw that Hurricane Harvey was hitting that area, we sent out an email and we let the investors know this is where we're at so far. No water has been taken in, or so far we are seeing some water, depending on the property. We have on our phones video of the properties, so I can go on my phone and for most of our properties, and I can see pictures of the property, and I can see the front gate, I can see the leasing office, I can see down the path of between some buildings, so I can see where
it's like an app, like a live security feed, or that's really cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I can see right at the property what it looks like in real time, and so I'm able to do that and know where we're at with everything. So the ongoing communication, we've communicated initially with investors once things were happening, and we're going to be sending out another email tomorrow, letting them know the status as we understand it, and then at the end, so I'd say in about a week or two, we'll have a summary. So S.O.S, last S is summary, and that will summarize where we're netting out from an insurance claim standpoint, if there is one at all, and that will kind of conclude the crisis communication when something like this happens. But obviously, if anything persists from a building up or any fixes, then you keep them updated after the fact on how that's going.
Okay, and then it seemed definitely for you were proactive in all this. Like you said that once you knew it was coming, you kind of had all this stuff prepared so that when it hit, you weren't reacting. So you were kind of ahead of it. So I think that's also something important to note for crises, is just try to get ahead of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I guess for this one in particular, there was a warning. For other crises, it might be like a fire that just comes out of nowhere. So I guess for that one, you can't be proactive. But if you can be proactive, be be proactive.
Yeah, and for fire, hurricane, earthquake, whatever, just think of S.O.S. when you're going through your investor communication. First S stands for safety, both people, first and foremost, then money. Make sure that you address both those things in your communication. Second, the O stands for ongoing communication. But don't bombard people with, okay, here it is, this hour, okay, now it's looking like this. Just give substantive communication. And then lastly, the summarize. So summarize what happened, not necessarily summarize everything that happened, but summarize what were the results from a safety and money and people standpoint, and what's the plan moving forward with either of those things if there were anything that happened with that.